world. It would devastate the very foundations of mankind.
Mr. Langdon, the chief of police would like your assistance.
I'm not sure how much help I'm going to be here.
Dear God.
He did this himself in his own blood?
Is it possible?
This is a message your grandfather left you.
He left us.
Might be some kind of anagram.
Can you break it?
Demons, omens, codes, monks. Da Vinci.
Professor Langdon, you are in grave danger.
Sir Lee TV.
Robert, what can an old cripple do for you?
I'm into something here that I cannot understand.
You asked what will be worth killing for. Open your eyes. Witness the greatest cover-up in human history.
You're saying all this is real?
Real enough to kill for.
You're not gonna make it!
Tom Hanks, Audrey Tautou, Ian McKellen, with Paul Bettany and Jean Reno.
You must explode the truth onto the world. Mankind can finally be set free.
The Da Vinci Code.
Through his foundation, Bill Gates has helped to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. Well, today at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, he announced that his project called CEPI, or the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, has $460 million. He sat down with CBS News to talk about how that money will go to preparing for the next great epidemic.
The idea is to take a new way of building vaccines that could let us develop in less than a year a novel vaccine. They're called DNA-RNA vaccines, and so we'll fund a few projects to build specific vaccines that could let us develop in less than a year a novel vaccine. They're called DNA-RNA vaccines, and so we'll fund a few projects to build specific vaccines. To build specific vaccines, but not only will we get that, we'll prove out that these platforms can work, we'll understand the regulatory issues, and it gives us a chance of being able to respond in time when the next epidemic hits. We're in the same situation we were in before, where it takes years to build a new vaccine. But the scientific idea of these new platforms could radically change that, so that a lot of the steps are sitting there ready. The factory piece, understanding the regulatory piece, and you just have to plug in some information, do some quick safety profiles, and then you can get into manufacturing quite rapidly. Well, we need vaccines for a lot of things, not just epidemics. We need a HIV vaccine, a tuberculosis vaccine, a malaria vaccine. All of those things are in the works, and over the next decade, I think most of those we'll get solutions for. India has changed massively. In 1980, only 1 in 10 kids received their necessary vaccinations. Today, India provides essential vaccines to almost 90% of children. It's mind-blowing. You might ask, how have we brought child to death down, and how can we bring it down in the future? Creating new vaccines and making sure that vaccines get out to all the children in the world. We can make sure that you actually have good sanitation, toilets, ability to wash your hands. We need much better tools, much better systems to help kids in that very first week.
Is there there a common denominator to the kinds of things that you have wanted to collect, own, put in your own library?
Well, I think there's some innovators who were role models, and it's fun to track how they did their work, the drafts of their manuscript, the letters they wrote to people about how they were thinking as they were going through their amazing work. So I've got some of that stuff, and it's kind of fun. I let it go out and tour and hopefully inspire kids to think more about science and innovation.
And this is having to do with polio, Albert Sabin. Why this?
Well, he's one of the great scientists. Salk and Sabin are the two people who invent each of the polio vaccines. And so, his
Did he invent a vaccine or an oral?
It's an oral vaccine.
Right. Okay.
So the first one, the Salk, is a shot.
Right.
And the Sabin is
Right.
is drops. So both have played an important role.
Yeah. I mean, this goes back to obviously to your own interest in polio eradication. This, I assume, is Pasteur?
Yeah, it's
Notes?
he's the one who did some of the first vaccine works, understanding that there were pathogens that made people sick. And so a boy came in with rabies, and he'd figured out how to come up with something that would cure that boy. It was considered a miracle. And so understanding that there were bacteria, and he was the one who really figured that out.
And finally, Edison. He's in the top rank of American inventors?
Oh, absolutely. What he did with the light bulb and this whole system of generation that was the first electric lighting in New York City, the number of things he had to get right, and that sort of founded the whole electrification of the country. He competed with others, but a lot of it was his ingenuity.
We're going to see something that I've looked forward to for a long time, and it is Leonardo da Vinci. How did you come to own this?
So there was an auction held. I told Melinda I wanted to buy a notebook. First she wasn't quite sure why that was such a big deal.
Yes.
So I bought it at auction.
Leonardo da Vinci was left-handed. You're left-handed. Lots of people. Barack Obama's left-handed. You read anything into this? Steve Jobs was left-handed. Yeah. Do you read anything into that?
I don't know. There's a little bit higher variance of talent, high and low, for left-handers, but it's never been explained. Yeah.
You don't have an explanation?
No.
All right, we're going to move over here and take a look at Leonardo da Vinci. Now, why do you need a mirror to look at this?
He used upside-down, backwards handwriting, and nobody really knows why. One theory is that because he was left-handed, this avoids the ink smearing.
Yeah.
The other is that he thought maybe somebody would find the notebooks, but it's hard to believe that if somebody's smart enough to benefit from these notebooks, that they wouldn't figure out the mirror writing that he happened to use.
Hello, I'm Bill Gates, Chairman of Microsoft. In this video, you're going to see the future.
Yes, we don't know when, but we made a mistake not being ready for this one. We were lucky that the death rate wasn't even higher, and so investments so that we can stop it before it goes global. The benefits to that are very, very large. Well, AI is getting better and better. As you make jobs more productive, that can be definitely a good thing. Just like we made agriculture more productive, and so we freed up people to do other things. I don't think we'll lose control to AI. I do think that as it progresses, the job markets will change, and so we'll have to reskill people to work in the areas we still have need. The Earth is incredibly hospitable compared to Mars, and so I don't see any future for us if we don't take care of Earth. We may have a few people in other places, but overwhelmingly the issue is doing a good job and staying here on Earth. I think so. The pace of innovation, doing things the green way, making cement a different way, making steel a different way, having transportation that uses electricity that was made with no emissions. There's a path. And so I think the big question is, do we get there fast enough? There's a path. There's a path. There's a path. And so I think the big question is, do we get there fast enough?
It'll be released in May.
Right, but I'm not supposed to say that, right?
No, you can say that. You can say it'll be coming soon, within a few months.
Okay.
Not a specific date.
When staff meet Gates, it's a big deal. This team are waiting for him to review their work. For years, he's had a reputation for getting stroppy.
There would always be heated arguments between Bill and the programmers. He's very famous for having always said, "That's the dumbest thing I ever heard." He's very famous for having always said,
"That's the dumbest thing I ever heard."
We're in the same situation we were in before.
We'll get solutions for.
We'll get solutions.